Hi, thanks for meeting with me today. This is a great opportunity for me.
Did you have any trouble finding the office?
I did not. I stayed last night in the Overlook Hotel and I was able to get here in a taxi.
Great. Shall we go to the conference room?
Sure. I'm a student from a well-known Eastern business school, and as part of our curriculum we have a business plan contest. About maybe 25 of the students in my class have entered, and the idea is to do research in a field of business and come up with a new idea for a business.
I see.
The contest helps us apply the course concepts that we've been studying, but if we do come up with a winning idea, we're encouraged to find some funding and to develop a small business. Now, did you study entrepreneurship in school?
Actually, I've learned through experience. This is a family business, and we have a tradition of keeping the business in the family. Each of us has learned about business by our own practical experience. They say that experience is the best teacher.
I agree. I can't wait to get out into the field myself. Could I ask you some general questions about your industry? I don't want to pry into company secrets or anything, but your perspective would be a great help to me in developing my business plan.
Oh, of course, I'll be happy to answer some of your questions.
While the interviewee may not tell about his or her company's specific plans, he or she is willing to discuss industry trends. The interviewer has come prepared with a set of questions. The interviewer asks the questions in a systematic manner. There is an attempt to obtain as complete a picture as possible. The following aspects of asking questions will be illustrated. Open-end question. Probe question.
I've looked at your website. You have a well-developed online floral business. I'd like to start an online business in a related field, but not in competition with your company, obviously. Could you tell me how you decided to start an online subsidiary?
I was a computer science student in college. I already had a grasp of the fundamentals of programming. It wasn't hard for me to learn HTML. You know, that's the language that programmers use to create web pages. Well, I started by designing a website. I put together the products we could sell, the customer service functions we would offer, the community features that customers would value, the mechanisms for collecting payments electronically, and the graphic look that I wanted for the site.
You said something about customer service functions.
An e-commerce website needs to have superior customer service functions. A customer who shops online needs to be reassured that they will get their money's worth. People are afraid that they will not get what they ordered, or that it will not come on time, or that it will not come at all. They're worried about giving out their credit card number over the internet. They're concerned that their personal information will be compromised. The online retailer may sell the information to another business. There's a host of other inhibitions people have about making a purchase online.
And how do these fears affect the floral business?
The biggest problem for florists is on-time delivery. Certain products will be fresh for 7 days before delivery. Other products must be delivered in 1 day. I needed to develop logistics so that our product would absolutely, positively be delivered on time. This is not a programming issue. Here I could rely on the experience of our shipping department, and it didn't hurt that my cousin is the director of shipping and receiving for our company. He helped me set up the delivery system so that it would be very reliable. Imagine if someone sent expensive flowers for a special birthday and they arrived wilted several days late. We would never get that customer back. The customer doesn't see that aspect of the business when they go to our website, but the site reassures the customer that due to our reputation, they can also trust buying flowers online.
How do you assess the competition before starting an online business?
I didn't have the advantage of going to business school. Of course, I knew about local competitors, but I had to think about competition from a different point of view. We would now be seeking orders from customers outside of our region. Could we compete with businesses worldwide that also were going after these customers? A big part of our business is servicing corporations. I had to think if we could service large accounts if our business rapidly expanded due to being online. I had to do a systematic environmental analysis to consider the competitive factors. Michael Porter's SWOT model was very helpful to me. You analyze your strengths and your weaknesses, then you match them against the opportunities in the environment and the threats to your business in the environment. By looking at these factors, you can develop a strategy that becomes the core of your competitive posture.
We studied that in school. I'm glad to see it's useful in the field.
It was helpful when I had to present my idea to other members of the company. In order to justify the investment in an online business, I had to project cash flow for several years ahead. The fact that there was little competition at the time allowed me to project strong sales and profitability. It was those projections that convinced the company to invest in my idea. I suggest that you do a similar analysis for the business that you're considering.
Thank you for that advice.
The interviewer has used a number of techniques to obtain the needed information. We will see vignettes illustrating nonverbal conversation stimulators, the reflection technique, the attempt to gain more information by summarizing. The following conversation stimulation techniques will be illustrated: nodding the head in an affirmative manner and maintaining eye contact, reflecting emotion back to the interviewee, summarizing.
I wonder what the total market will be for online floral sales. There are so many estimates of the size in the market that it's hard to decide which one to believe. I've subscribed to a market research service that sends me the latest reports on the industry. It seems that flowers are not the greatest product to sell online. There are so many florists that it is hard to establish a reputation for quality. There is a tremendous variation in quality between individual florists. The public doesn't have a lot of confidence in a florist they don't know personally.
I sense that you're somewhat fearful about making a large investment into a new venture that has an uncertain future.
We have observed so many online startups that have not succeeded that we are somewhat reluctant to be the first one to offer this service to customers. On the other hand, if the online florist business takes off and we're not in on the action, we will lose the opportunity to get in on the ground floor.
You'd like to know if the estimates for online market growth are accurate. However, there are so many conflicting studies that you don't know which one to believe?
Actually, it isn't as bad as that. The most reputable marketing research firm predicts that online flower sales will be $50 million next year. That is about 5% of the total market for retail flower sales. I've been using this estimate as a basis for my decisions on how to invest in our online business.
The approach to an informational interview illustrated here will work for many kinds of information needs you may have. It may relate to starting a new business, getting information from a coworker in order to do a job that you hold, or talking with a subordinate whom you supervise. As with all forms of interviewing, do not assume that you have a photographic memory. Take notes during the interview, and after the interview, write up a summary of what you have learned. How do you know when you have obtained sufficient information? A good rule of thumb is to do multiple interviews. If you are hearing the same information for the second or third time, you can assume that you have covered the territory. The process of gathering information begins with good interviewing skills. In order to develop these skills, practice is necessary. You can practice with friends. Treat your first actual interviews as practice as well. After a while, your interviewing style will become natural and you will find it easier to plunge in and get the information you need.